What we're looking at here is the front of a cantilevered exterior ceiling, and you can see the roof on top, and underneath looks like it has a light gray or a light grayish blue, whatever that would be, ceiling. And the ceiling is actually plywood, T111. Don't forget, T111 plywood comes in a variety of different sizes and lengths. This actually looks like it's 4-inch groove spacing. The grooves on it would be 4 inches. And of course, it does make a nice ceiling. I actually used something like this on a ceiling I built at one of my homes one time, and it turned out great. However, don't forget that plywood, when it is exposed, and that's what we're looking at here, the edge of the plywood is not painted. And you can see in the other picture that the roof is sloping the other way, so you're not going to get a lot of water off of the edge here. However, if you do get enough moisture over time, the plywood, what's it going to do? It's going to come apart, and that's of course what you want to prevent. Now I would imagine at one time the plywood butted up against the fascia board, and somehow the fascia board expanded. I doubt if the original builder wouldn't have painted this area if you could see it like that. So it wouldn't be a bad idea just paint the edge here. And again, we're not talking about a 2-week project. We're not talking about removing a bunch of stuff, some type of a home repair nightmare. We're talking about just grabbing a 2-inch paintbrush and painting the edge of this to protect your investment. And again, anytime you walk around the exterior of a building and you see exposed wood, this should be your first clue that it needs to be painted or treated in some way. Unless, let's face it, I mean, if you have some type of a wood, you have a redwood deck and you want it to stay that way, you don't want it to be treated, you don't mind it turning gray eventually, whatever, this is the look you're looking for, then obviously you wouldn't need to treat these areas. But if you do come across an area like this, and this is a good example, where you have the entire building is painted except for one spot or a couple of spots, then it wouldn't be a bad idea to fix something like this as soon as possible. And keep in mind, replacing a ceiling like this might cost you about, let's just say $1,000. But how much is it going to cost for a can of paint and a paintbrush? 20 or $30, let's say. And again, if you're watching this video in the year 2050, it might cost you $100. But I would imagine the repairs would, instead of costing you $1,000, might cost you $2,000 or $3,000 if that's the case. If they even have wood in the future, who knows? So anyway, I will leave you with that. You come across something like this, wouldn't be a bad idea to point it out to the property owner.